evening, everyone. I am Chris Cahill coming to you live from Skidrow Studios in downtown Los Angeles. And this is Real Radio on the Internet. The show is Psychic Every Day, and thank you for tuning in. This is a wonderful Wednesday in Los Angeles, and I am here with my friend Jenny on the boards tonight. Hey, Jenny.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. It's been a long week. I barely realized it was Wednesday today.
Yep.
So.
It is already Wednesday. I know. By the time Sunday hits, it's already Wednesday.
Yeah, that's true.
Except I know. I'm trying to be in present time, but I get what you're saying. Well, it's nice to see you.
You too, Chris. I always enjoy working your show and hearing all the readings that you do for people.
Well,
and
thanks.
having their they're able to see clearer after you talk to them. And I think everyone appreciates that aspect of your show.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
that's actually my job, is to help people see themselves clearer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not up to me to tell them what they should see, but,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
thanks.
everyone needs that in their life at some point.
It helps all of us. It's
Yeah.
always helped me a lot with people who've done that for me, too.
You still haven't done a reading for me.
Well, you'll get one.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll figure that
see
one
what
out.
We can do.
We'll definitely figure that one out. It's great. Wonderful. Well, I am, as you can hear, people, I am live in the studio tonight. So that means that I will be taking some calls during the show after I get the show rolling, that is. My number, just, jot it down if you're already listening and you're thinking you might want to call at some point later on during the show. The number here is 1-800-893-9562. Now, if you're new to Psychic Everyday Radio or you're new to me and my work, I'm going to tell you who I am and what I do. I am a professional psychic. I'm a full-time clairvoyant and psychic. I'm also a teacher. I teach meditation and teach people how to ground and work with energy. I'm also a healer, and I'm a writer, and I'm an artist. So I do all kinds of stuff. But what I do as a creator of Psychic Everyday Radio, is talk about energy, work with the energy of different kinds of things, of spirit, of being psychic, of what is energy anyway, and how do you work with it? What is it? So every week I have a different theme, a different topic, and I kind of focus too per month on what my topics are, what it is that I'm focusing on. This month of February 2014, I've been really focusing on relationships and on different kinds of relationships. Also love and affinity and all the rest of it. So you can find 3 shows already in the archives here at skidrowstudios.com, and also in my podcast, which you can subscribe to for free on iTunes. It's called Psychic Every Day. So just go searching for that. So last week I did a show, I believe it was about your relationship with, just relationships in general. I did a show about love and affinity. Communication has been a big part of this throughout this month. And tonight I am completing February, finishing up the month with a show about your relationship with spirit. So it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be very exciting. I have a lot of fun pictures I want to work with tonight, and I am excited about that. So you can, if you're here at skidrowstudios.com and you want to watch the show too, we have a live video button. You no longer go to where we used to be on live stream. Now we're here. We have everything on our site. So you can listen to me. You can press the live video button or click on that, and you'll get the video, and I'll say hello to you. And if you are listening on a smartphone, go to Stitcher.com, and that makes your life easier. And you'll see, too, as I mentioned, there's a lot of stuff in the archives. Not just my show, but all kinds of other shows that are here. I think we have about 19 shows right now, 18 or 19 at Skidrow. So it's wonderful. I also have to say happy anniversary to me, because this is my 1-year anniversary of being on Skidrow Studios.
I feel so special celebrating it with you.
Exactly. You're my 1-year anniversary board tech op.
Yeah, board op. Yeah,
board
that's
op.
The same thing.
I always mix those words up and come up with variations of them. So it is one whole year.
Just push buttons.
You push buttons. You do more than that. You do a lot. So, yeah, I started this show last year, the end of February 2013, after having been a guest on another show in January Vic's show.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty excited about it. So So those of you who are listening tonight, welcome and thank you. And if you've been following all along, through since I began my show, and I've been hearing from you, or you've called in, or maybe you once in a while, I get emails, I get phone calls, I get people just letting me know that they like the show, or that they have questions, or that they had a comment. I always appreciate that. Those are all welcome. So there, if you want to communicate with me, go ahead and do so through either Facebook. I have a page called Chris Cahill's Psychic Every Day. You can look for me there. And I also have a website, chriscahill.com, and a blog, psychiceveryday.com. And you can communicate with me through all of those things. Now, I want to get into the show. I'm talking at you and giving you all this information and stuff, but I want to get into the meat of this show. How you already relate to spirit, your relationship with spirit. And what does that mean anyway? Because there's so many ways to look at that. And I find all of those ways very kind of juicy and fun. You already do relate to spirit, whether you know it or not, because you are spirit. You yourself are spirit in a body form. You are a being, a spiritual being in body. And that includes not just the spirit of who you are as a being, whether or not you're aware of who you are, really, or, whether you are working on creating a new picture of who you are, or you're kind of embracing the picture of who you are, or you're working on some new pictures of who you are. When I say picture, I'm also talking about spirit. I'm talking about spirit or energy. Spirit and energy are the same thing. They can be interchangeable here, and they will be throughout the show. So you already have a relationship with spirit on some level, whether or not it's a comfortable one or a conscious one. And the point of this show tonight is actually to help you create a more conscious relationship with spirit. So you can be more aware of, or more certain of, or more friendly with, or happier about your relationship with spirit. Because it can be fun. Now, it's really cool. You are spirit. That includes, you the being, your body, your emotions, your intellect, just all those different things. That includes how you see yourself, what you feel about things, what's in your heart, how you hear information, how you know, how you act. All of those things. It's all about a relationship with spirit that you have already, and many different relationships, because with relationships come agreements. Now, we're not going to get into agreements as much tonight, but that's just a part of it. And what's really cool is not only are you spirit with all of that going on, I mean, it's really complicated to be in a body. You are a spiritual being having a physical experience. And it's really interesting and very complex, which you already know. No matter where you live or how simple it might be to live where you live, it's complex to be in a body. And it's really fun. I find it really fun anyway. It works for me. And I've had to work really hard at it sometimes to make it more comfortable or easier, but so have you. But on the other hand, when you have that relationship with your own spirit really working for you, if you have a friendly relationship with yourself, with your own spirit, then it becomes easier to be in your body. You heal your spirit, and your spirit heals your body. It does start with the spirit. Everything begins with spirit, which is why I want to do a show about your relationship with spirit. You start creating a more conscious relationship with spirit in general, and you affect what happens in the world. Okay, here's a case in point. Because I always do get into this. Look at what's happening on the planet, just in the different countries where different things are happening. And as of today, which is February 26, 2014, we've just seen a really huge thing happen in Kiev, Ukraine, and a whole shift and change in the whole government because the people decided that was going to happen. Like, there's a majority of people who decided this energy no longer works for us. There was a shift in spirit and a change in spirit and a growth and an expansion and just it's just a different kind of way of working with energy than they had been. And so they created a new reality. That's happening all over the world. I'm not talking about the violence. I'm not trying to glorify any of that. That's very hard. That's a very difficult part of it sometimes for all of us. But I'm looking at the way that spirit actually brings the rest. When you have the spirit of people really working on some level, or when you are able to communicate with the spirit of people, and here, I'll make it closer to home. I'll make it about you. You, whatever it is you do in your life for a living, whether you have your own business or you're self-employed or you're freelance or you have a job or you have 3 jobs or whatever it is you do, your spirit that's in all of that matters. Your relationship with your spirit really matters when you're creating your world. Just like how you see your own spirit or how you have a consciousness on that level matters when you're going to create a job. It may not be the thing that you see on the surface or that, for example, a prospective client or boss sees on the surface that matters. There's something underneath. There's the spirit. When someone is working with her own spirit or his own spirit in a conscious way, that person, that being, because that's a being, that's a spiritual being in a body, is actually acting in a very capable way, being very capable with their spirit. And when you have a consciousness, an awareness of who you are and where you are, and what is it that you are here for and what is it you want to do and create, when you have your awareness, your relationship with spirit on that level, and it does not have to be perfect. This is an ongoing present time thing, people. It changes all the time. It's funny, but it comes a lot out of many different levels. And I'll get into some of those, like how you create that. When you have that, you affect what you are able to have and create. You affect whether or not you get the audition. You affect whether or not you get the job or whether the client looks for you or other things. You also affect how your own health goes and how you create health for yourself. There's a communication with spirit, a relationship with your spirit that affects you on all these levels, which is really cool when you start to work with it. It's pretty brilliant. Now, here's another way you relate to spirit. This is another part of your relationship with spirit. You're a spiritual being in a physical body, and guess what? So are all those other people you know and all the ones you don't know. Everybody, and everybody's unique. Every single one of us has a unique, one-of-a-kind vibration, whether or not we are conscious of that. And I'm not saying that anybody's better than anyone else. Not at all. It's that each one is unique. On some level, yes, we are all one, but which one are you is the question. It's good to know who you are. And when you find yourself really kind of glommed into a group of people, whether that group is family or friends or, social group or people you work with or something, a team you're on, if you find yourself getting kind of lost in the shuffle of the mass of humanity, you might have to kind of separate out a little bit sometimes and find you again, just so you can remember, oh, yes, this is my spirit. And you don't have to fight for it. You don't have to worry about it or get into a competition over it. It's really just about you knowing who you are. When you know who you are and you are being who you are and you're having your relationship with your own spirit, there's no competition. It's not necessary. Competition doesn't work with spirit, not at all. It's completely unnecessary and just gets in the way. Just reminding you all, in case you have just joined me, I thank you for that. I am Chris Cahill. You're listening to Psychic Everyday Radio at skidrowstudios.com, real radio on the internet. And this is a live show tonight on Wednesday, February 26th. I will be taking some calls through the show, and it looks like I've got my first caller. So let me get to that. Hi, you're live.
Hi, Chris. It's Sandy.
Oh, why, Sandy. Nice to hear your voice. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Welcome, and thanks for listening and for calling. How do you like the show?
Yeah. I love the show. I think the topic is great. I think it's very appropriate for your anniversary, and happy anniversary.
Why, thank you. You just gave me a hello. I appreciate that. That's nice. Thanks so much. Well, would you like a reading? I'm giving readings on your relationship with spirit tonight.
I would love that. That sounds great.
Wonderful. I'm just going to go in and see what I see in regards to your relationship with spirit and just whatever it looks like. It's kind of cool, too, because what I'm noticing in general, but then I saw it right away with you, is I'm noticing in general the growth period people are in right now about their relationship with spirit. I mean, everybody has kind of a different way that they're doing it, and there's no one right way, but that's what I see with you is this growth period about your relationship with spirit. And you're in a pretty good sized growth period right now anyway. And a growth period is just simply a time of accelerated growth. And what I see is this picture of you. You're standing by what looks like, and it's kind of cool. It may not be exactly at all like how your house looks. It looks like it's more in the country, kind of in the country in the winter. You're in this shed. You're not in your house. You're kind of out in this tool shed, but it's really kind of it's an interesting, comfortable place for you. And it looks like it's even kind of like a barn that has animals in it, but you like to go there in the picture I'm looking at. And you're standing at the door looking out at the snow blowing and just like flowing, like all this white. But you're standing in the doorway and you're all dressed really warmly and you actually look pretty comfortable. But there's this really kind of nice look on your face as you're looking at the snow, and there's a peaceful, calm look. It's like you're accepting it, you're allowing it, you're not fighting it, you're not worrying about it. But it looks like part of your growth period having to do with your relationship with spirit right now is that you are allowing. You know, there's a releasing of tension and stress and anxiety over it, which is really cool. It looks like a pretty picture. Like except for the cold and the snow, I want to be there. Because I know you guys in Chicago are having a lot of that right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just keep coming.
I know. Well, so, you know what? You can communicate to the spirit of the weather. I highly recommend it.
That's a good idea.
And I have to tell you why, because every year when I come to Chicago, I usually come in April. My husband and I started, when we first moved out here, we would go there in the winter. And then we said, why are we doing that? We live in Los Angeles. So we're going to go in the spring because that's when two of our parents have birthdays and then the other one's in June. So we can, we'll go to when their birthdays are. It's nice out. And every year I talk to the weather before I get there. And it didn't work last year at all. But some years it's worked. I've gotten my weather mock-up.
Oh,
I want a warm day and I want a rainy day and I want a this and a that. Yeah, it's worked. So you might want to see if you can talk to the weather spirit.
All right. I'll do that.
Thank you for calling. It was good talking to you, Sandy.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Be well. Bye.
Okay, you too. Good night.
Thanks. Good night. Hello, everybody. I am talking about your relationship with spirit, and it's really lovely to be doing this tonight. I'll be taking some calls. I do have another person about to come into my line here. The number here is 1-800-893-9562, and I'll take a look at your relationship with spirit. Let's see who I have here. Hi, you're live.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm good. Who's this?
This is Arson.
Oh, Arson. Gosh, I didn't recognize your voice at first because it was a little bit broken up, but now I can hear you better.
Yeah, I'm trying to get better signal in here.
Yeah, I can hear you much better now. How are you doing?
Oh, good. And, congratulations on 1 year. I can't believe it's been that long.
I know. Do you believe it? I know. I looked back over my stuff and I thought, I better check the date. And I know it's coming up. And I was like, oh, yes, it's tonight.
Wow.
So, very fun.
Cool.
Well, thank you. Well, would you like a reading on tonight's topic?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the topic, so I figured, just definitely, give you a call and see what you see.
This is a big one for you too. This is a big place you're working, and the picture I see, and it's really neat because what I see is you in present time sitting in a very, it's a more calm place somehow than it was maybe a year or two ago. Just simply, but I see you looking back over the past with a very neutral look at the past, looking at yourself now and saying, okay, I've I actually got that mock-up. I got to get up to the point where I'm at now. And it's not like you think you've, done everything. It looks like you feel like in the picture I'm looking at, you're like, okay, this is, now I got to the place where I'm actually kind of like at the starting lineup is the picture. Not me telling you that, but that's this picture of you. But you look just like I saw Sandy in the last reading I gave, the last woman who I talked to. There's a calm about where you are, and this is you, the being, with this calm. It doesn't necessarily look to me like it necessarily translates on a body level. And that looks like part of what you're working on with your growth period is allowing your body to be okay to go along with your spirit on this journey of this next step with your relationship with spirit. That's a big one. And you're working it already. I mean, you've done a phenomenal amount, but this is the place you're working right now as a being is really, I see another picture of you wanting to remember languages you used to know in other lifetimes. And I don't mean literally the dialect, but another kind of language. And that's what you're bringing back to yourself. Very cool. Old.
Very cool. And I definitely feel that as far as the calmness and at the spirit level and exactly like you said. I think I'm trying to match up the physical with the spirit.
It's hard. Our bodies need a lot of assurance to know that they're okay. And that's the thing is there's no one right. You're not doing anything wrong. What I see is just simply it's about you. I mean, you, the being, you, the spirit, are really taking more command right now. And you can really communicate with your body and try to get your body up to speed with you, too. But you have to listen to it as well. You know that.
Yeah. Very cool.
Give it presence.
Very cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Arson. Nice talking to you tonight. Be well.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Take
Bye.
care.
Hey, everybody. I am having a lot of people starting to call in. This is very lovely. We're doing a show tonight about your relationship with spirit. Now, I want to get into just a couple more points before my next caller. So I'll be getting to all of you people in just a minute here. I'm talking about your relationship to spirit, you relating to your own spirit, you relating to the spirit all around you and other beings, other people. And then, hey, let's get more complicated here. Although I don't think it is. It doesn't have to be. It's not a problem. But not just human beings have spirit. Animals have spirit. And if you're an animal lover, you know this. You know that animals have a spirit. Animals of every, animals and birds and insects and all kinds of beings. One thing I've learned how to do over the years is stop being afraid of the big scary spiders and instead start talking to them, especially since I moved out here. I might have brought this up in another show, but it's true. Like I just got to this point a few years ago, like I don't want to kill these things, but I don't want black widows coming in my house because we have them out here. And so I started talking to him and saying, look, I understand you're very, very, you spiders, you're intelligent. I'm just letting you know. And I'd show them the picture. Just don't come in my house. I will not touch you if you don't make your nests around my house. If you, go do it out in the garden, I don't care, but not near. And they don't anymore. It's weird. And I would also tell them, if I see you in my house and you make me scream, you're dead. If you don't, I will leave you alone. I just don't want to see you.
Have you ever been bitten by one?
No, I haven't, and I don't want to be.
Yeah, I have two of my family members that have, and it's a pretty scary thing, so
yeah.
I wouldn't want them in my house at all.
No, I will. They will die.
Yeah.
They will. I'm sorry. I have to just say that. And any of you out there who are spider lovers, I'm very sorry. Don't yell at me. Okay, I have my next caller now. Hello, you're live.
Hi, this is Laura.
Laura, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's hard to hear you. Are you on a speaker?
Better?
Wait, let me see if I can hear you better now. Let's see. Go ahead, talk.
How's this?
This is better. So, Laura, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm doing well. I'm enjoying the show. I was looking forward to it when I heard about the topic.
Oh, thanks. Glad to hear that. Would you like to have a reading about your relationship with spirit?
I would love one.
All right.
I would love it.
Beautiful. And did you say Laura or Lori?
I actually go by both. So,
which Lori is this?
Well, I've just called into the show one other time. So
Okay. So
Laura.
I don't know because I have a lot, Laura, because I do have a lot of different ones. Okay, good. That's what I thought. You didn't sound like her. But let me just go in and say hello to your relationship with spirit with the picture that I see. And the picture I see, just as I get started, just a quick little hello, but the picture I see is one of the ways that you have a happy relationship with your spirit. And I'm not saying you have to do it this way or that this is the only way, but it looks like it has to do with having fun and playing. That you remember you have spirit when you're in a place of being able to play. And I don't mean, in a goofy way necessarily, although that's good too. But it looks like it has to do with creating and playing and remembering that child of you, that really fun, creative being that you are as a person, as a being in this lifetime, remembering that you know how to play and that that's how you create. And it just looks like that's where there's no effort involved. And I'm not saying that it's like you have to go into any effort trying to make it fun or play either. It's more about there's an allowing, there's a trusting and an allowing that you can have. Here's the exact picture. The exact picture is you as a little girl wearing all this intense hot pink and just really having fun. It looks like you're dressed for a party. It might be your own, a birthday party or something. But the picture is the color has to be shocking. And actually, it looks like you're wearing a couple of colors that don't even match, like how little kids do sometimes. And I love it. I love how they dress. It's the best. But it's exciting to you as that child of you. And it's also... It's fun. There's something about it just being fun. Like you don't have to, there's no judgment. There's no trying to match up to something or looking over your shoulder to see, am I doing this right? And that's where I see your relationship with spirit where you really grow is when you just let go of looking over your shoulder and trying to do it right. But to just simply be.
Really?
That's it.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you for calling in, Laura. Nice talking to you.
All right.
Have a good night. Bye-bye. Okay, I am talking about your relationship with spirit. So I was getting into animals and, if you communicate with animals and you know about animals and work with them or you have them as in your home, if you have animals and you're their people, that's great too. You know what I'm talking about. Now, not just people and not just animals, but the earth. The earth has a spirit. The earth and all of the creations on the earth, the mountains and the deserts and the oceans and the trees and the forests and the fields, all of it. It all has spirit. The whole planet is made of spirit, of energy. You are an earthling. You are also made of the earth. So there's a communication. It's part of why we really do need to reconnect with our earth. We are our earth. Our earth is there for us, and we are here to be here for our earth too. So I have another caller. Hello there. You are live.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's Bonnie.
Bonnie, nice to hear your voice. Welcome.
Nice to hear yours. I love your topic.
Thanks. Thank you. Would you like a reading on your relationship with spirit?
I would love a reading.
Wonderful. I see this picture. It's really neat. It's very simple. The picture is you're standing very, very still, just kind of, it looks like you're trying to maintain a stillness, but meanwhile, you're trying to allow what looks like sparklers or sparks. It's like colorful sparks or sparkler, almost like you had a sparkler in the top of your head. It looks like you're trying to let the spark start flowing from your crown chakra, from your seventh chakra in the top of your head. And what I see is what you're trying to do is kickstart and really put into kind of warm up and get going a higher level of your own relationship with spirit. And that's you communicating on a crown chakra level, seventh chakra, your knowingness. That's also your communication with spirit. So what I see is you're trying to get how it looks like you're doing this is you're maintaining this stillness in your space and not and just trying to allow this sort of, there's a concentration I see you have, but it's a still concentration, a stillness, if that makes sense. And it looks like what really helps you start to get the sparklers going is saying hello to them. And that's actually one of the things I want to get into in tonight's show anyway, is like hello. Saying hello to your communication with spirit, saying hello to your connection to spirit, because hello is consciousness. Hello is, oh, hello to my own spirit. And it looks like for a long, long time, and this is what you've been pulling out of for a while, you've been pulling out of a relationship to your spirit where it's been kind of in the background, and what was in the foreground were those body pictures or the obligations or the programming or all that level on a body level. And you're now integrating your spirit in. This is the place you're working right now. It's really neat because it's stillness that leads to it in the picture I see.
Cool.
So,
well, thank you.
You're welcome. That's where you're working. That's what it looks like.
All right. I'll look forward to the rest of your show.
Oh, thanks, Bonnie. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Take care.
You
Bye.
too. Hello, everyone. I am continuing with a show about your relationship with spirit. So I just was getting into the earth and everything on it is spirit. Okay, so are the heavens. That includes the universe, the sun, our universe, all the other universes, the suns, the stars, the comets, the planets. Hello, spirit. Hello, energy. That's all energy, all spirit. And this is something that people often think of when they think of a psychic taking a look at your relationship with spirit. All those out-of-body beings, woohoo, those ghosties, those beasties, all those things, the energy, the hello to all the different spirits that do not have bodies, whether they're helpers or spirit guides or, whatever it is, dead relatives, all of that. So there's all kinds of ways to have relationships with spirit, as you can hear. All right, I have another caller. Hello there, you are live.
Hi, Chris. It's Miriam.
Miriam, nice to hear your voice. Welcome.
The family reunion tonight.
Looks like it. You two have a special connection. You both call.
No, we talked. We were excited about the topic. So.
Yeah. Good. Well, what would you like to know, or do you have a comment, or would you like to have a reading?
I would love to have a reading.
Beautiful. I'm going to take a look at your present time, where I see you growing with your relationship with spirit. And actually, that's what it's turning out to be, really, these readings tonight, because they're so short, have a lot to do with where I see you growing, or where I see your relationship with spirit starting to grow or change or develop, or, all of that. And that's in particular, I guess I wanted to say that when I started reading you, because that's the picture I see. And the picture that goes with your relationship with spirit in present time is a very bright green. It's like a very brilliant sort of yellow or lemony green. It's a really pretty color. It's actually a color I really like to wear. But the color, what I see with the pictures that go with this color are these pictures of you having a lot of new growth. It's kind of like very, when you see after we have all this rain this week, how we're going to start to see all this brand new green growth coming up in different places. And it might be really small in some areas, just kind of little fuzzy growth, or depending. And that's the picture, is this little fuzzy kind of brand new lime green growth. But it's delicate. It's small, like each part of it is small, but there's a lot of it. And that's the picture I see with you right now, is that there's a lot of it, and you're trying to, and this is in your relationship with spirit, you're looking at it all, and on the one hand, you are happy about it. There's a feeling. What I see is there's this, you as the being kind of proud of it, or just happy or ready for it to be here. And then there's another part of you saying, what do I do with it all? Like, where do I put this? What do I do with it all? So there's the part of you, the being, and then there's your body saying, but how do I handle all this, or what do I do with it all? So it looks like you're in this place, this time of kind of adjusting to this new way of having a relationship with spirit, because it really has changed for you, and you've been creating some new levels for yourself. So what I see in present time, not that there is one solution or one way to do things, but what you've been doing in terms of grounding yourself and meditating and getting your space and all that stuff, keep doing it, because that does work.
Okay.
I think you know that. I mean, there's more, as you want to take other steps and go to new levels, there'll be some new steps, there'll be some new things to do. But for now, you're learning where your space is You're learning how to have your space, and that's helping you have your spiritual growth, your relationship with spirit. It does look a lot lighter than it used to look to me.
What do you mean by lighter?
Like it doesn't look heavy. It looks lighter, like it's easier on some level. There's more of a, it looks like it's a little bit easier for you. You're not handling some of what you did before.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks to your help.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I do. I said hello to your spirit and said, yeah, you can have this communication with spirit, but you got some work to do. Everybody does. And you've been doing it. So I say keep doing it.
Thank you. Is it, real quick question, is it normal to feel like disconnected sometimes between like body and spirit? I
Yes.
once you're kind of aware of.
Yeah. That's called being human. It's okay, but then it's also normal to feel connected. Actually, I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound so flip. It's true. We often do that. There can be a disconnect, especially when the energy is so intense, and it's been really intense for a while now. And we really we've been like going through it, in terms of our spiritual evolution. But it's actually, in my view, more normal to feel the connection. You just may not know that yet. And it's not normal for everyone. And I don't mean that as a negative or as a judgment of you, not at all. But that many of us, here's another way to answer this. We were taught to really go from the thinking and making that the boss rather than the body and spirit connection. And you've heard me say this before. So you're really you're rearranging all that. You still have the thinking, you still have your ability to have your intellect and all the rest of it and analyze things, but now you can also say, oh yes, I have this other relationship to develop, body and spirit. That's where your relationship with spirit changes and grows. And that becomes more normal over time then. Okay? Thank you for asking that. That was a good question. And thanks, Miriam.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye. Hello, everyone. I am Chris Cahill. You are listening to Psychic Everyday Radio at skidrowstudios.com. And it is another beautiful Wednesday. I got about 15 minutes or so left in my show tonight. And I'm talking to you about spirit and your relationship with spirit. Couple things I want to say. I do this every Wednesday from 7 till 8 Pacific time. And you can find me here at skidrowstudios.com. And as I mentioned earlier, I have a podcast. This show becomes a free podcast that you can subscribe to on iTunes. And it's really, really fun. You can also go and look at the video. We have the video in the podcast. We also have it in the Skid Row archives. I also have 2 websites and a mailing list. So if you want to know about what's going on with my weekly specials, and every month I have, some different gifts I give away or new offerings on my website, and different posts I write. I'm writing a psychic dictionary right now on my blog. It's really fun. I'm all the way up to E. It's my 2014 thing I'm giving myself, my job to do this year. But I'm all the way up to E, so go check it out. It's at psychiceveryday.com. You'll find it there. And if you want to join my mailing list, that's free too. So just sign up. All right. I'd love to hear from you. I have another caller right now. Hello, you are live on my show. Who's this?
Oh, lovely. Lovely. This is my first time listening to you live, and I feel so excited that it's your 1-year anniversary.
Yay.
Wow.
Thank you. Well, who is this?
My name is Celine. I'm calling from Northridge, actually.
Oh, that's wonderful, Celine. Thank you. And thank you for telling me it's your first time live. I love it. Delightful.
Yeah.
You picked a good one.
Well, yeah, of course, so fortuitous that I happen to be listening, because this is like a question that I have about not only my spiritual being, but like the beings who are here to guide me. I'm sort of wondering, how that is all connected and where is it going for me now?
Wonderful. Well, then that's how I'll focus your reading. And I only just have a couple of minutes to read you, but I'm going to take a quick look at your relationship with spirit in terms of that. Because that's really always fun to look at. And also just to give you, I don't know how long you've been listening to my show, how many months or whatever, but I did do a show about spirit guides, I believe in October. So if you go back through our archives, or even just look at it's easy. Sometimes it's easier to look at on iTunes because they're all listed in a row. And you can just quickly go through the names. But I believe it was last October because I did one on ghosts and spirits, and I did one on spirit guides at some point. So, yeah, check it out. And I will again down the road. But for now, the picture I see with you, with your relationship with spirit, and in terms of this, the picture I see is you've had these, there's been a couple, well, actually, there's like 3 in particular I see, although it looks like you've worked with more over the years, but whether you've done it consciously in the body or not. But I see you as a child in a like you're a toddler, you're in a stroller, and you already have these agreements with these beings when you were like a little girl. And you know how like sometimes you see little kids in the, I mean, I bet little kids do this to you. I bet they say hello to you. I bet you get a lot of little, especially the ones who are sparkly, like who have that connection, who are psychic. They probably do that because they will. Because that's what you did. It looks like when you were very, very young, you were seeing the beings, you were seeing the energy. And to you it was normal because, yeah, it is. It's human and you're pretty clairvoyant, but you had this connection. And the one thing I see is you as a being in this lifetime in your body, you've always known the difference between you and them. That's important. Some people don't. Like sometimes you might feel an energy in your space or know it's there or whatever. But what I see is that you as a being, that you have enough on the ball to know I don't want to mix up knowing whether that's me or whether that's them. Does that make sense to you?
A little bit, yes. A little bit. As I'm trying to work with them, their guidance a little more. I mean, I fully can appreciate their different vibration from my own vibration, the own vibration that's me, yeah.
Yeah, that's important. You want to make sure that you do that because the ones that you trust who look like they do help you or that you're, asking for guidance or for help, it looks like you just got to remember who's senior, which is you. That's the main thing I would say.
That is really my question. That was my question.
Yes, you're the one who's senior, and I guess that's why I put it the way I did. Like you wanting to know the difference between you and them. Not that anyone, you know what I mean. Not that there's a problem, but just that. And that's where it's really important that you inhabit your own body. So you may be communicating at that higher spiritual level. It will be really helpful to you to be grounding, to be working in the body. While you're in between doing that or while you're doing it's just, you can communicate with spirit at a pretty high vibration and be in your own space. And that would be the key because then you will know when you're being invaded by some other being that might say, hey, I have some good information for you. Let me in. And you're like, wait a minute, you can communicate with me from your space because this is my space.
Oh,
that's the key here. That's the thing to start doing. And because you have a lot of mediumship ability, you've got a good clairvoyant ability, you're a good healer, you've got all that. I would train it in the body. Get in the body with it because that will it'll make it easier for you to actually get out of the body. Getting in the body, the more you can get in and know your own body, the more you can have that. Because your body
that
won't...
just gave me...
Good.
Sorry, that just gave me goosebumps all over the place. So
good. That's why you called. That's exactly why you called. That's great, Celine. Well, thank you for calling. That was a very good question. I know some other people listening really have that same kind of question, too.
Oh, thank you so much, Chris. It's just been so wonderfully fantastic listening to you tonight.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling. Have a good one.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
All right. We are talking about spirit, talking about your spirit. Now, there's one more little point I want to make here. Actually, a lot more points. I'm not going to get to all my points because I always have more points than I have time for. But you know what? You can really see the spirit in other people if you're not judging them. And I know you've heard me say this before, but you can also see the spirit of any situation if you can kind of remove yourself from it and have a neutrality, kind of be working from within yourself, from within your own space. This is one of the techniques that I teach in the psychic meditation class. It's called neutrality, working from the center of your head. This is the class that when I originally took it years ago at Envision in Chicago, it changed my whole life. Before I went into clairvoyant training, that was the class I took. And I teach it now. So it is a class where when you're working from that neutral place, from non-judgment, you can actually see much more clearly, and you can see spirit more clearly, and including your own. That's a pretty key here. I have another caller. Hello, you are live.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, who is this?
This is Gwen.
Gwen, nice to hear your voice. Thanks for calling.
Thank you very much. I would love to know what you see as far as my relationship to my spirit, and I also want to thank you for introducing me to my spirit.
Right on. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You know what? It was good that you found it, because it was already there. It was just waiting for you. It was waiting for you to say hello. Well, let me take a look at that, your relationship with spirit. And the picture, when I first look, actually the picture I see is that you, the being, you, Gwen, as the being in this lifetime, or it's actually you, the being who is Gwen in this lifetime. It looks like you're at this place where there's a lot of celebration within yourself, even if you don't always feel that way on the outside. But I just see this picture of there being like a lot of, it might be gentle celebration, but it's celebration about being who you are. And actually the picture I see is that there's you saying, okay, I finally found it. Okay, now I can get my work done. And that's the picture, is I can get my work done now, because I knew there was something I had to get before I started trying to do my work. And isn't it easier now, Gwen?
It's different. It was kind of, it was different.
Yeah. It's not that it's easy, because it's still,
easy.
Tough work, but it's easier because now you remembered, oh yeah, I have to go back to myself. I have to get back to me. And that's what I see is that's part of your growth right now, is you're like, now I can really, roll up my sleeves and get down to business, because I found what I needed to find to go do that. So looks really wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Nice to hear your voice tonight, and enjoy. Thanks. Bye. Oh, everybody, I'm having such a lot of fun tonight with this topic. It is really one of my favorite ones. It's really the basis for the work I do, saying hello to spirit. Your relationship with spirit. I was getting into working from that place of non-judgment neutrality. If you're looking without judgment, you can see. If you say hello to the spirit of another person as more than just the surface, the surface might mean whatever you see. You might see somebody being in a big problem, or being stuck, or being angry, or being in pain, or being perfect, or being just fine, but you don't really see the whole thing. We know that already. We don't really see each other all the way, and there are things that we don't want others to see about us. We don't need to go around and show them everything. But there's always more than what you see on the surface, and that's the spirit. And there's not just, all right, so I was talking about, there's spirit in you and in all the people your family, your friends, people you work with, animals, the earth, the universe, the stars, the other beings. There's also spirit in every relationship you have. So you can have a relationship with the spirit of your relationships. I know this is mind-boggling. It's a little bit out there, but it's not. You can have a relationship with the spirit of the place you live. You might like the energy of the town you live in, or the city you live in. You might really like the spirit of the place, or someplace you visited, any place you've gone to. When I think back on my favorite travels, and I've traveled a lot in my life, I really want to travel a lot more. But I just keep thinking about the spirit of Paris. I got to go back. I really loved Paris. And Ireland, I got to go back. There's a spirit that I need to go back and experience again. And then other places I haven't been to yet that I think of, I just want to go experience that energy, that spirit. I want to be in that place. It's not about, it's not about the pictures I'll have in return that I have, postcards of or photos of. It's about the pictures I'll have up here in my own spirit, my own mind, my clairvoyant level. So there's that spirit too, the spirit of the places you live, the spirit of the whole planet. And there's also the spirit of, again, the relationships you have with others, the communication, the creativity, the spirit, your relationship with the spirit of all of the things you're creating in your life. So not to get all complex and overload you with all of these things to think about at once. How about let's keep it a little bit simple as we're getting to the end of the show tonight. And I'm going to give you a little bit of, just food for thought for the week, or maybe a little bit of homework if you want to look at it that way. How about this? What is something in your life, like some part of your life, whether it's a relationship or it's your career or it's just whatever you're wanting to create next and have for yourself, or something you want to change about yourself, maybe habits you have, or there's something you want to add to the whole bundle. Like I want to bring this into it. Maybe it's even your relationship with spirit. Maybe you just really want to work on that more. How about making that a topic for yourself this week? This coming week, just let yourself, you don't have to think about it too hard, but give it to yourself as a suggestion. Maybe you can find it in your dreams, or you can just give it to yourself as permission that you can start to really communicate with the spirit of whatever it is that you are ready to maybe know more of. Remember, spirit begins everything. Everything starts with energy. We are all energy underneath it all. No matter what the surface looks like, that surface is also energy. And energy, when you start to be able to communicate with energy and have a consciousness of it and start to work with energy, that's what meditation's about, and working with energy as a clairvoyant, that's what I do. And you start to actually affect the energy in your life and around you. You affect the energy of your health. You affect the energy of your relationships. You affect the energy of your money, of your job, of what you attract to yourself when you become conscious of your relationship with energy, with spirit. So a couple things I'll suggest. So here, go ahead and, give yourself permission to maybe set that up for yourself this week. It doesn't have to be a big complicated thing that you spend half a day trying to figure it out. Just put it under your hat and just make it something you can take with you. Like, for example, the spirit of traffic. I know that sounds really dreadful and boring, but I have been, we've all, and living in Los Angeles, all of us can attest, and any of you in a big city, you can attest to being in traffic. What if you found the spirit of that? Because we all lose sight of who's in the other cars. It's like they're our enemy because they're in front of us, or they're honking, or they're annoying. All this annoying humanity. What if you started saying hello to the spirit of the people around you? You can just be in your own car and just send them little hellos. It's kind of fun. Might make you feel, not so mad anymore that they're in your way. How about it? So that can be a game you play this week. And you can start to work with that. And another thing is, if you are looking for ways to start to work with energy, check out my website. I have a storefront at chriscahill.com and also at psychiceveryday.com. And I have all these different meditations. There are some free ones you can download. There are other ones you can purchase and instantly download. And they're all meant to be things to help you start to work with energy and different tools that you can learn. I teach grounding, and I teach just different ways to work with energy. So, for example, until the end of the day on Friday the 28th, the February free meditation is a meditation that's an hour long called Love Yourself. And that's the energy we work with. We're working with the energy or the spirit of self-love. And it's a really healing and lovely meditation. So go snag that one for yourself right now if you haven't got it yet. And check out the rest of what's in there too. But that's what I'm talking about with the spirit, the energy. You start to play with that energy, with that spirit, and you are going to change your world. And it's you doing that. You're not controlling outside of you. You're actually changing from the inside out. And when you do that, you have a lot of effect on other things, and you have a lot of power. That's it for tonight's show. I want to say thank you so much to Jenny and to Skidrow and Jeremy and everybody who I see here. There's a show coming in right after me. There was a show right before me. It's just like such a bustling, wonderful place. I'm really grateful to be part of this place, and, happy to celebrate my year anniversary tonight. And yes, I like it. And I want to say I'll be back next Wednesday for a whole brand new month of shows, beginning with next Wednesday, which is March 5th. And this will be a live show. So please join me. Check me out, in all those places. I'm on Twitter as Chris Cahill. I'm on Facebook is Chris Cahill Psychic every day, and you can find me here at skidrowstudios.com, Real Radio on the internet every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Good night, and thank you.